Hey guys, what up? Welcome back to another segment of Rising Duelist. It's your boy Chillfish.
And Jay over here.
And today we're continuing on with our extra deck series, top 10 favorites.
Yeah.
Last week we did Synchros, and then now we're going to do XYZs, which, hate it or love it, XYZs have been super popular and even as a staple in the game since they were introduction in 2013, I think.
If you can make a rank 4, you have to run Castell. It's
rank 4 decks, especially the most powerful XZ decks to ever come out. Whether you like the anime or not, which remains to be seen. XZs are arguably one of the most strongest, I would say, up until next week's segment, strongest extra deck based monsters. So with that being started, we're just saying our top 5s.
Yep.
Jay, what's your first one?
For me, Red Eye's Flutter Metal Dragon. I really like this one because it's nice Red Eye support and it's generic. So 2 level 7s bound together, and for me, if you can make it, then you should run it because it just does the burn damage every single time they activate something, and that's super clutch late game.
What's interesting is that rank 7s are one of my favorites, and that was not on my list. Yeah. But that one is indeed great, especially just because even if your opponent gets it out in 2 or 3 moves, you can burn them for up to 15, 20k of damage, just in case. My number 5 is also rank 7. It's also dark, but it's a spellcaster. It's Big Eye. When Big Eye came into the meta with, I think it was in Lord's Tachyon Galaxy it dropped, this was meta changing. And this is one of the few cards up until its battle pack, or not battle pack, the gold rare reprint. Even its battle pack rarity was still the $30 category. It was an expensive card.
Yeah, it was at 90, then it got reprinted in the battle pack to 30, and then it wasn't until the gold series.
And then still, if you look for a secret rare, it's still, I would say, up in there at the time of recording the video anyway. I liked it because first deck I played was Harpies. Yeah. So rank 7. This was one of the biggest ones to go into. Steal your monster to the end game. Even people who are playing now that don't know Big Eye. Now, one of our buddies who were playing, I was playing against Tim, and he's like, "Wait a minute, you just keep the card?" And I'm like, "Yep." Big Eye keeps it forever. So
Big Eye Dragon Ruler format. Oh my god.
Big Eye with Dragon Rulers. Actually, Big Eye would survive in OCG. TCG got limited, I think, then semi-limited, and then it came back. But Big Eye's always got big space in my heart. And because one of my buddies gave me a Big Eye, and I still have that though.
Alright, so my number 4 is going to be Blade Armor Ninja. I really like this because one, it was really good in just the ninja supporter. You need 2 level 4 warriors. The main reason why I ran it was back in the day when I used to run 6 Samurais. I used to run that one and Excalibur, and when it comes down to actually pushing for damage, it does more damage than Excalibur. Excalibur is just there for big monsters, and that's about it.
Blade you can attack twice, right?
Yeah, Blade, and he's at 22, so he does 44 damage. 400 more than Excalibur. It's just, I love it. We were pushing for game, and this was back when Gateway was still legal.
Yeah, and it's a win, so I guess I love it. So it's a win. My number 4 is a rank 4, also wind. When I saw this, it was revealed. I didn't even care what the effect was. I just wanted it because it's wind and wing beast, or I know what it is. Castell, the Sky Blaster Musketeer.
Yeah.
This took over another one that was going to be my list if it's not honorable mention. Honor Arc.
Yeah.
This took over Honor Arc's position.
Yeah.
And it's with 2k attack. It's still a good attacker after the effects are gone. No one really uses its Book of Moon ability, which you can use twice. Everyone does it the spin. Yeah. And for a while, I think people were afraid it was going to get limited or even semi, just because if you could make rank 4, this was the card to go to. But,
I mean, to this day, at least in the time of recording this video, if you can make a rank 4, you have to run at least 1 Castell.
Because it takes rid of so many. It does target, but now at the time of recording this video, we're moving into a targeting format. Yeah. This will get rid of a lot of boss monsters. It might be good against Lynx. Who knows?
Definitely. All right. So number 3 for me is Daigusto Emerald. Really like this guy.
This is controversial. Number 4 right here.
Oh yeah. A lot of people were saying that it should be banned, which is understandable.
I say limited, but okay.
I used to play this way back in the day when you only need to run 1. I used to run to my card carries way back when. I love it, and strangely enough, people just don't use that second effect, especially some of our normal monster. And I remember a good combo with, I believe it was Gem Knights was one that they used to run a lot, especially some of the normal monsters, because Gem Knights are normal in Grave. So it's really awesome. I just love it, and it's a staple again in Raid Force.
Yeah, I think even with Pepe, it was actually a good one because at the beginning of Pepe, when you were in Vector Dragon, you could bring out Vector Dragon later or Luster Pendulum because they're normal monsters. So it's also a wind. So there we go.
Yep.
Every time I'm gonna do a counter every time I say wind. My number 3 is a card that Jay and I have a fun history about. And I will never let him live this down. It is Gaga Cowboy. The only cowboy really card in the game, so it's special by itself.
Yeah.
Here's the story. Another long win like my Synchro story. I was playing Teller Knights during Cosmo format. Why? Because I like to hold on to the past. And I had this Cosmo player. He didn't know how to play against Teller Knights, which was weird. And I got him down to about 1,000 life points 2 games. He won the match, but 2 games got him to 1,000 life points. I could have won every time, or at least gotten more damage if I had a Cowboy in my extra deck. I did not main deck Cowboy because he told me don't do this. No one plays it anymore. And I'm like, I could have done something. I could have won. I don't know. So Cowboy will never be forgotten. Will always be one of my favorites now. And any rank 4 deck, I'm gonna keep Cowboy because
just to spite me, right?
Just to spite you. But also, I think 800 damage can still do decent. I mean, of course, it's way better if you're going into like the end game.
Yeah.
But it's just Cowboy.
I mean, that was a staple. The saying is still popular now. Cowboy for game.
Yeah, Cowboy for game, and then even its first effect, which no one really uses. Its attack position detached, gains 1,000.
Yeah.
And I think the opponent loses 1, you charge over it. It's great. That's my number 3.
Yeah. So my other one right here is Minerva, the Exalted Lightsworn. Now,
Brand new.
at the time of this video, that card just got reprinted in Battle Legends like literally a week ago, and been loving it, having so much fun with it. I've always been enjoying it from afar online. That's it.
Watching a video when someone does it.
Yeah.
But now
and then I go to like a YCS or a local and I say, oh, that's a Minerva. But finally we get to have it. I'm so happy. This card's just like going crazy in my heart right now.
It's bad, and it's great for Lightsworn. It's the most balanced, I would say, Lightsworn card they have, especially for the extra deck.
Yeah.
Because it's not overpowered, but it gives them so much more support.
Yeah,
and just boosts
it's
it.
so good.
I think it's more balanced than JD, but that's just
one of the few cards that you don't mill at the end phase.
That is true. My number 2 is also a rank 2. Probably know what this is. This card has completely changed. We were just doing a history before this. Changed the format. Created decks that should not have been able to make this card.
Is it an awesome card?
It is awesome. It is so awesome. It's totally awesome. Now, I actually play this in Mermails, which everyone still is like... People hate it in Heroes because it shouldn't be there. And I agree with that. It shouldn't. But people are like... Paleozoics is okay. Toads, it should be. But then, like, Mermails, you're okay. It's all water.
At least
it's
water.
It's forgivable. But, like, when Heroes, or if you could just do it in any deck, you're like... I think I could somehow figured out how to make it in... I thought I figured out how to make it in 6 Sam's at one point. I was running, like, water or something. I don't know.
Probably 10 Goldfish.
10 Goldfish. There you go. 10 Goldfish go into anything. So people hate that. But Toad is great. It actually replaced another good XYZ on the list, Cyber Dragon Infinity. I'll mention that one. It replaced that card. That card would define another format.
Yeah.
So it's cute. I actually like it. It's just cute, perfect. And if you're playing Toads, like it's really good in Frogs. So that's what's crazy. It's really good in Frogs, but it's really good outside the archetype. Usually you got mediocre effects in archetype, better outside. This one, just great. And it's my number 2.
All right, and for me, my number 1 is one of my favorite boss monsters of all time. Raid Retro Ultimate Falcon. For those of you who do not know, Raid Retro Ultimate Falcon has an attack of 3,500 and is completely unaffected by anything. When this card first came out, it's just so easy to get out. You can do the rank up stuff, or you can like summon it, put it face down, and then resummon it with Zenmeister. Just so many complete different ways. And with one of the rank up cards, you can banish it and another Raid Launcher to special summon it from Grey, so it keeps coming back. Again, at this time when it first came out in Wing Raiders,
that was like the money card next to like.
Force Strix was the money card. This one,
actually, yeah.
The reason why this card was so good, in my opinion, was their Kaiju's weren't really played. Mm-hmm. Like no one thought about that yet. Okay. So the only way to out this guy was Lightning. Utopia Lightning was the way to out Ultimate Falcon, and that was only a one-time thing that they can do, and you can just special summon it again, and you got it. It's so good. One of my opinion, best monsters of all time.
I hate that.
Boss monsters.
Hate that card. My number 1 favorite is another rank 7. It's also Wind. What makes me sad is this card is slightly not relevant anymore. But this was another one. It was tandem with its good buddy Big Eye, defined a format. Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack. Yeah. This was a card that didn't really do too great in a Mecha Phantom Beast deck, if they did even good at all. But in Dragon Rulers, you spam tokens, you had protection, you were having popping. Yeah. Harpies, it was wind, and you could do so many things with it. The synergy was insane. Mermails and 7s were just great with Tidal. It breaks my heart that it's no longer super relevant. But
it was crazy during that time.
In 2014, 2015, it was just here we go. If you could, it was like an $80 card for a long time. And when the reprint came out, it still held a high price tag
I mean,
until
even right now, it's still like $6-7. Any version.
Yeah, and like it's just I remember spending $20 on the reprint, thinking it'll go up, and it went down. I should have waited. But you know, it's awesome. The design is really cool. It's a freaking dragon plane, and I don't know. I just think that was a great card. That's one of those classics that you just say certain cards, and you are already thrown into a format.
Especially at the time, Meteor Force was still just such the best battle trap ever. But with the tokens, you're like, I don't care about Meteor Force
Because I can survive through the Mirror Force. Your attack was negated, but you survived, and that was huge. And again, wind. So you know, it's gonna definitely be only two wins in this one. But anyway, guys, that's our top 5 XYZs. Did we hit any that just triggered you? You know, did we have any that you agreed with? Things that should have been better? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe and like for more Yu-Gi-Oh content.
Later.